Both the American Democrat Party and the British Conservative Party were founded within 6 years of each other. The Democrat Party in 1828 and the Conservative Party in 1834. And now they're both heading for the skids together. Different reasons, but same effects. I'm Graniopteryx. There are other things as well. A Republican Party headed by Trump, you might call it in many ways a workers' party. Not that it really is a workers' party, but Trump does carry that element with him. And from what I've seen, there are many voters who will vote anything but Democrat this time round, or simply not vote at all because they're so disgusted with the out of touch and ineffective sliminess of their much beloved party, or their previously much beloved party. Over here in the UK, the Labour Party is supposed to be a workers' party, and it isn't. In fact, it holds a lot of very stupid diversity representatives who have nothing but contempt for British workers. And yet there are many Conservatives who may actually vote for them or let them win by withholding their votes simply because they are so disgusted by the out of touch and ineffective sliminess of the people who've crawled to the top ranks in the Conservative Party right now. What interests me is the similarity of the conditions in Britain. After a needlessly wasteful World War I and then further loss of life from a flu pandemic, the very established Liberal Party that found itself fumbling from one... I have to explain. Throughout the 19th century, it was Gladstone and Disraeli, Disraeli and Gladstone, Gladstone and Disraeli. Disraeli was the Conservative, Gladstone was the Liberal. They were the two most powerful parties in the country. They looked unassailable. In the early 1920s, the Liberal Party, which was then in power, just stumbled from one disaster to the next and completely lost it. It lost hugely to the newly established Labour Party because no one could vote for them anymore. That was it. It wasn't that their policies were bad, it's they didn't know what they were doing, and everybody realised that. And the Liberals haven't regained any sort of position since then. And you know what? It looks very much like the Reform Party is going to repeat history, just like the Labour Party took over, reducing the Liberals to an ineffective rump. So it looks like Reform will replace the Conservatives with that historic party, dwindling to the same insignificance as the Liberals. In the USA, the Democrats are going to lose big time to the Republicans. I'm pretty sure of that. It's a different setup, but a similar idea. In the case of the Democrats, they've engineered their own demise with their refusal to let the younger people come up through the ranks in favour of a bunch of conniving oldies, and a very obvious dishonesty with regard to persecuting political opponents they find inconvenient. And a lot of people find that really rather creepy. Since the USA political system doesn't have room for a third party, which would replace the geriatric old one, I don't know how that is going to pan out. Perhaps you guys in the USA can tell me, but I do believe that the Democrats are in for a long time in the wilderness after the next elections. Meanwhile, in Britain, the Conservatives lost absolutely spectacularly in 2 by-elections. I mean, really spectacularly. Talk about biblical floods. There would be no ark big enough to save that lot. And much to my sadness, the party of Benjamin Disraeli and Winston Churchill, I'm sure everybody knows about those guys. That party looks to be foundering into the mists of total irrelevance, and I'm sorry about that. It had a noble tradition. But I couldn't vote for that lot now, not with them in control. Or more to the point, not in control. They're just doing the same fumbling the Liberals did. All right, well, that's my take on the 2 disastrous by-elections that were held here last week. And a warning to America, I think. OK, till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.